So this is from Plan to Do. It was a creative climate action funded project, and we worked with sustainable energy communities around Ireland. These are volunteer-led groups and they work on climate action projects. We spoke to 29 groups around Ireland and they were all so interesting and they do such great work. But we found out that a lot of them struggle with moving from plans to actually actioning projects. So that was our goal for this project. We spoke to people and we found that there was a lot of burnout and there was complex projects that they didn't really know how to act on them. They didn't know where to start with the project. So we spoke to people like Connecting Cabra, and they're an amazing group who work with small projects. So they've actually expanded a lot of the work they do from energy into areas like biodiversity, where they do tree giveaways and swap shops and bat walks. And it allows for more people to come into the space and kind of get interested in energy through other areas of interest. But we found when speaking to them that renters were missing from their engagement because they can't really act on anything in their homes. So we made a workshop for them. So this was Climate Chats and Chips. It was a very informal, very chill workshop. We had bags of chips, dilute on the table, and we just met people where they were at. So we had you can see kind of an outline of a home there, and then templates where people drew what challenges they face. So maybe mold in the home, damp, draft. And then we looked at what solutions people can come up with. So these were very lo-fi ideas, like dehumidifiers were a big one across the project. And you can see perspex, temporary window glaze there as well. And there's also in the person's hand, there's these community pals. So we looked at as well who could help with installing some of these things that maybe you don't have the tools for. So it could be a neighbor, or like you have someone on your street who has a bit of trade experience. So find out who's in your community and who can help. So we documented those ideas. And the great thing about this was it allowed for people to connect as well. So everyone was exchanging numbers at the end of the workshop, and a lot of them are still in touch today. And we also wanted this kind of work to be replicable. So we actually found out that Connecting Cabra are still holding the Climate Chats and Chips workshop for other events. From this work, we made the manual for a cozy home. We wanted a bit of a lo-fi prototype just to test. So it included hand-drawn images from the workshop, and then I did a few as well, and all the information that we collected from the workshop. So we had 2 booklets, and there's a QR code on the back of the booklet as well, so people could do a survey and answer what they thought about it. So they'd be providing feedback that way. And then we also went to in-person events. So this one in particular was BuzzFest in Fitzborough. It's a sustainability event. And we looked at as well, you mentioned earlier, Stephen, about whether something should be printed, digital, like what format should it be. So we had conversations around that as well. And some of the people said that we found for renters specifically, they wanted to use it as a table book, like a coffee table book, which I thought was interesting. I really didn't expect. They were printed with the office printer and then just stapled. And then a lot of them found that we got feedback that they would use them for like coffee mornings. And it was a way to get people together in a room, share ideas and have conversations. And also there was a bit of isolation we found with renters. So it was a way for people to connect as well in that way. There was also, somebody actually said to me that it was like it was made by people like her. So it was made for her by people like her. And I was like, yeah, that was the plan. But yeah, it was great. Loads of people actually showed up who were there from the very start of the project, which was great. And they felt a real sense of ownership about the piece of work. So they were there from research to co-design to prototyping and testing. So yeah, it was really great. this is an image from a networking SEC event we held as well. So that's actually Katrina from Connecting Cabra. So she is telling, she had Connected Cabra are so great. If you don't know them, do definitely give them a visit. And they're so successful at what they do, and they bring so much knowledge. And so we got SACs around the country together. They shared learnings, we shared learnings. It was a way for them to also build capacity and a network for themselves and learn from each other. So that was really great. So after the project then, we have the booklet on the website, and we have some of the other resources on the website. This is still live, the From Plan to Do website. And we found that some of the SECs are actually using these. So they do retrofitting walks, and they've used the booklets for renters, because some of them were showing up for connection. They wanted that networking aspect, but there was nothing to give them. They had no resources, so now they have a resource. So that was really cool. And then from the prototyping, we were invited to BuzzFest, and then we were invited back last year. So Sean, who's in the room, actually helped me with this. So we worked on an active travel exercise. So we looked at how people currently get around, how they'd like to get around, and then what challenges they face. So what's stopping them? So it kind of became this panel of shared knowledge a little bit, where people could share the insight that they have. So we heard things like, someone said that they would like to run more, and someone offered, but they have like issues with their knees. So someone offered a pair of insoles that they use, or said that they should find areas that have more grass and other things like that. And someone from the DCC actually came up to us and wanted to continue to apply some of the learnings on work that they're doing. So we're in the works on a different piece of work from this. So I think that shows, when you're testing like small scalable things, they can really make an impact. I'm not sure what the next slide is, but oh, that's it. Okay, cool.